All right, welcome back. This is Carrick again. We are in Game 3. It's the second game we're going to look at, but this is Game 3 between pwnxssgame and XSS. pwnxssgame leads the series 2-1. I am doing this cast live. This is very new to me, so pardon any errors as we go forward and do this, but it should be very interesting. In the last game, we saw pwnxssgame took a huge lead when XSS foregated and failed, and then pwnxssgame failed to scout. XSS made a bunch of Stargate units and made a really nice Zealot-heavy Void Ray heavy push that basically forced a base trade with pwnxssgame that he wasn't going to win, and pwnxssgame did GG out and leave the game. We do have an extended loading screen here, of course, but here we go. We're now in the game. So in the upper right hand corner we have your orange Zerg player, pwnxssgame, currently leading the series 2-1. In the lower left-hand corner, we have your yellow Protoss player, XSS. As I said in the Game 3, the first game we cast, both these players are mid-high level Masters players. They're both very good, and this should be a really interesting game. XSS's comeback in the last game was just incredible, and we'll see if that throws pwnxssgame off at all. Of course, this is, I believe, MLG Shakuris. Yes, it is. And we can see that the supply depot down here, of course, like the other map, preventing any pylon block. This is a really favorable position for pwnxssgame, and for a couple of reasons. First of all, of course, it's a long spawn position. That prevents any sort of quick harass. It allows a lot of scouting by pwnxssgame while he sees what his opponent will be bringing towards him. He can react in a quick manner. Second of all, taking a third in PvZ is quite important for Protoss that wants to go for Colossus heavy composition, whereas the Zerg player, due to the great mobility of the Zerg army, can saturate a first and a second base, and then can take his army of upgraded roaches, I think, as pwnxssgame favors, harass the Protoss player, keep him contained, and then take a third base behind that, which is also very strong. Now, Forge Fast Expand is actually quite popular on this map for Protoss players because it's pretty easy to Forge Fast Expand behind this, and 6-gate play, I think, would be pretty strong here, but we can see that XSS has chosen to take a gateway first. pwnxssgame, I assume, will be hatch firsting here. On this map especially, since it is pretty easily defensible, especially with that no gas style, since you only need 2 or 3 spines up here, pokes lots of stuff as it comes up the ramp, and it's rather difficult for a Protoss player to push up. We can see XSS is starting to take a gas, so it will not be a Forge Fast Expand. This is a really interesting choice, and I think will be indicative of some sort of early aggression by XSS. I would assume it would be some sort of DT, or Stargate aggression, since it's going to be pretty hard to do any sort of forgate up this ramp. This is not a good map for that build. We can see the cybernetic score is going down, very standard stuff, and pwnxssgame has taken the 15 hatch and has put down his spawning pool on 15. We'll see if he goes in that gasless build yet again. You can see the Overlord coming over here. He is going to see that he's not at this position, and will put himself very nicely right behind this natural, and we'll be able to see if and when pwnxssgame takes the natural. And we can see that XSS is chrono boosting out some probes, is taking a second gas, and is putting down the cybernetic score. So nothing has changed too much. We really can't tell much about their builds at this point. pwnxssgame still has not taken any gases, and we can see XSS with his second gas, it's not going to be probably the same type of forgate as he did last time, which obviously didn't work, but his recovery in the game was quite good. You can see pwnxssgame is putting in a spine crawler, just being safe. So we're surprised we don't have scouting links. Oh, they're coming out right now. And we'll be able to poke around and see everything's going. We can see the quick zealot being sent over here. It's very smart. If he doesn't have a spine crawler, it forces one. If he does have a spine crawler, he turns around and goes home. Either way, it's a win. Without Zergling speed, it's going to be pretty hard for pwnxssgame to do any sort of harass, and he probably isn't going to have Zergling speed quite yet, plus a second Zealot will be out at that point. We can see the Stalker is following up, so this will be some nice little harass. I don't expect it to really get much done other than taking out the Scouting Lings, as the Spine Crawler is quite powerful, and with the Queen that will be able to block any ramp runs, he should be just fine. We don't see any probes or anything running around here placing proxy pylons, so I don't think this will be the same thing as we saw last game. We can see the 2 Scouting Lings are going to go past these units up to their base. pwnxssgame does need to get his Queen in position, otherwise he runs the risk of getting ramp run. But we can see XSS very smartly turns around and is going back home. These Scouting Links will come in. They will see that there is no Forge Fast Expand, although they probably know that already, obviously, from the fact that a Stalker and Zealot were out on the map. He is going to see the Sentry, and he is going to see the probe out here getting ready to place a Nexus. Will he run the base? It's a nice force field there by XSS. Not going to let him see that he has 3 gateways down and isn't going for any tech quite yet. pwnxssgame says lame. Of course, force field is overpowered in the mind of every Zerg ever. We can see the Nexus and piling going down. This is a pretty early Nexus at about 6 minutes, but again, this position is pretty defensible. I do just find XSS's decision to go 3-gate expand rather than Forge Fast expand on this map rather curious. I'm not sure I quite understand it unless he is intending to do some sort of really early harass to keep Pwnxssg's economy down. You can see he's warping in 4 more sentries, so Pwnxss, if he had a scouting layout here, would be able to run up, see 4 sentries, and be able to tell his gas count from that. 4 sentries is probably a little bit low at this point, considering he got that earlier second gas. But again, Pwnxss does not do that, does not know that, because he really does not have any good sort of scouting information at this time. You can see the Stargate going down, so that is going to be the early form of harass he's going for. Pwnxss, again, really isn't going to know this is coming. He's going to have to be blindly guessing. All he really needs is a Ling running up and down this ramp. You can see 4 sentries. He can poke an Overlord over here. You can see and click on the gases, see when they've been saturated. He can think, okay, well, there's 4 sentries, and that's about all I see in a Stalker, which means that gas is going somewhere else. Which means it's either going to be DTs, and these 2 Stalkers will be a huge tell coming in behind him rather than being sentries. It's either going to be DTs, or it is going to be some sort of Stargate play, which is exactly what it is. We can see that there are more spines going down. He does know the Nexus is down. That's really, really interesting. Somebody asked in chat, does he suspect a Nexus cancel 4-gate? Nexus cancel 4-gate is, of course, when you go for a very sentry-heavy composition, you fake a 3-gate expo, then you cancel the Nexus and come in. I think he's just being safe here. These 3 spines basically shut down any sort of harass from ground units and will let him drone very, very heavily behind it, although we can see him getting a Baneling nest. So that's pretty interesting, and he's also researching +1 carapace and +1 melee attack. And we can see the third going down here from Pwnxss at about the 8-minute mark. It's early-ish third. It's not super duper early. It's not as early as you would get it there from a Forge Expo, but it is early enough. We can see Phoenix coming out. This is really, really smart play. I love this by XSS. Pwnxss does have the Evo chamber down, but he currently does not have the anti-air to handle this. I'm not sure he even has a Hydralisk down or anything like that. No, he doesn't. So it does look like he's going for some sort of Baneling defense. I'm not sure if this is a push or what. This is really, really interesting on his part to be making all these units and not intending to do anything with them. He's anticipating some sort of push, but again, he has absolutely no scouting information whatsoever. You know, here's what he knows. He knows there's a Nexus, and there's a Gateway, and there's a Cybernetics core. He doesn't know the number of gases. He doesn't know the number of sentries. Really doesn't know much of anything. This is really not very good play by Pwnxss. It would take just the cost of a half of a Zergling, 25 minerals, to run up here and see the sentry count and know something is wrong. He does see the Phoenix coming in now. I assume he saw them as they went by the tower. These will probably do a lot of damage. We can see the Spore Crawlers going down, but probably a little bit too late. He's going to take out 1 queen. I assume he will probably get the 2nd queen as well. Oh wow, really nice transfuse there by Pwnxss, and he is going to have to back out. Clutch transfuse there, and the 3 queens coming through to save the day. Really, really well played, and I think with these spores down, that's going to shut down a lot of harass. However, this third is going to be pretty vulnerable if he comes down here and checks it out. 1 Void Wave would really deny a lot of third, especially coupled with the 4 Phoenix, but he's going to take map control with these Phoenix. He is going to do a little bit more harass, pick off scouting Overlords, and just be an overall pain in the neck. Now, I would love to see him go clear the towers with the Phoenix, clear out the scouting lings, get this Overlord gone over here, and I do assume he will be going over to do that quite soon. The Graviton Beams are very, very powerful asset. We can see that a Robotics bay is going down for XSS. Really interesting tech choice. He's on 3 bases currently. Typically, we're going to probably see him take a 3rd base here, or he might be doing a 2-base Colossus push, which would be pretty interesting. He might feel that Pwnxss is vulnerable, and he is picking off random drones. This is really, really nice harass. If he gets a queen here, that's going to pay good dividends. Where are the other queens? Come help it. There's 4 queens coming up. Are they going to be able to transfuse in time? And he needs to get this queen and get out of here, and he will get out of here. You know, the Phoenix are paying for themselves. They're causing a lot of issues for Pwnxss. They've forced a couple Spore Crawlers. He still has yet to deny map control, though, which really, really bothersome to me. I think one of the powers of the Phoenix are a lot like Blue Flame Hellions for Terran, where you want to deny the map control. The Zergs without vision feel scared. They make units randomly because they don't know what's coming. They're unable to know when you're pushing, and they're really just, they have no idea what's going on, and they have to respond in some way to regain map control. We can see him poking around here. He does see the 3rd. He obviously already knew that existed. He needs to be careful with these Phoenix. They're very expensive. He does not want to lose them. These are units that will pay dividends throughout the entire game, and not just now, especially since he is pumping out a Colossus and Thermal Lens. So we do look like we're going for a 2-base Colossus push. This is not as powerful as a 1-base Colossus push, and a 3-base Zerg versus a 2-base Colossus push is typically going to favor the Zerg, I would say, depending on how he is macroing. Now, Pwnxss is not macroing very well right now. He is hard supply blocked. He's making 5 Overlords. He's making a whole bunch of Lings. It looks like he's going for this Zergling, upgraded Ling, Zergling, Infestor combination. Do we have any Infestors out on the map yet? We do not have any Infestors out on the map yet. I did see an Infestation pick go down. We do see a Hive morphing already. It's a very, very quick Hive. We do not have Pathogen Glance. It's really, really powerful against this Death Ball, but he may feel comfortable enough with just Ling Bane. And honestly, this is going to come down to a lot of XSS's force fields. If he can force field those Banes in and hit them hard, he's going to hurt a lot of what Pwnxssgame can do. Of course, on Shakira's Plateau, this wide open engagement area, it's going to take a lot of force fields. And due to the early Phoenix harass and spending gas on that, he is not going to be able to do that. It does look like he's going to maybe try and expand behind this Colossus. I'm not sure he's going to push with this. I would like to see him step up and do a little pressure, but pushing on this creep is a little bit risky. We can see these Lings are going to run up here. Does Pwnxssgame know about the third? He does know about the third. He's going to run up here. It looks like he's staging himself for a Ling.